So I want to welcome everybody to Springfield Town Library. And this is a class on how to use our new catalog. I'm Sue Dowdell, I'm the library director here, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have about it. We are recording and we are uploading it to our YouTube channel. So we will take care of that. I'm not sure, let's see, I have Bridget's thing showing, so I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Does everybody see the catalog? Just nod. Okay, I'm hoping that you all see it. So this is, first of all, I want to acknowledge that Aspen Discovery is what our new catalog interface is called to us librarians. And it is, the project was possible, made possible by an American Rescue Plan Act grant from the U.S. Institute of Museum and Library Services and the Vermont Department of Libraries. So this is what our interface is going to look like. And there may well be some changes as we go along because we learn new things and we're finding different things that are a bit glitchy. And so we're going to ask that you bear with us on making our changes and go from there. So what you see right now is our new URL. So it's springfield.aspendiscovery.org, and I'll send that to you afterwards. So you can begin using it if you're viewing this recording or you're here live. If you see things that are glitchy or things that seem confusing, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me at springfieldlibrary@hotmail.com. And that's the email that you got your Eventbrite from, so that we can make it as good as we can before we go live. So I want you to just pay attention. We've got our new logo there, so I'm kind of excited about that. But the pieces that are really different for you is that we see different, what we librarians are calling browse categories. So we've got adult fiction, adult nonfiction, listen and watch, young adult, and children. And there might be some different ones going on when we go live. And underneath them, well, you can see adult fiction is in green. So that's the one that's chosen. And then underneath, we have new adult fiction, new large print adult fiction, the New York Times bestsellers. So these are subcategories in our browse category. And if you create some lists, there will be one here that says my lists, and we might have some different things as we go along as well. So again, the different color ones, as we change the categories, it'll change the background color of the one that's selected. So above the pictures of our, let me go back to adult fiction. So we can see all of the new adult fiction because we see it's new adult fiction. It's under adult fiction. And we see all the pictures of the books that are new. We can see a breadcrumb trail. So we know it's adult fiction, new adult fiction. So that's going to, when we click on it, it's going to give us a full listing of all of those items in that subcategory. So as I scroll down, I want you to notice a couple of things. So on the left-hand side, we've put in some filters and some of the vocabulary that Aspen uses, they call these facets, and we're used to calling them filters. So if you see the word facet anywhere, you'll know that it just means a filter. So it's filtered out all of the available materials between fiction and nonfiction, and we've chosen fiction. We've chosen the audience of adult. We've chosen the format of new book, and even trying to make sure that we catch all of the new things. We said book new, which is an item type for us librarians, and chose fiction and chose anything from 2020 and beyond. And as we look over here, we see date purchased by descending. So these are anything that's new, and they're the newest to us as well. And then across the top here, we see all libraries. So these would be things that all libraries have new. Springfield Town Library. So when I say all libraries, I mean the 23 libraries that will be part of the consortium as mid-July, I believe it is. Right now we're 21 libraries, but we're focusing mostly on things that are in our collection. That's what's in the middle, and it's highlighted in blue. So again, just like the green at the top on the last screen, whatever you've highlighted, whatever you're chosen is going to be a different color. And then we have the opportunity to see what's available now at Springfield Town Library. So there's some different things going on there. So we've got the title and the author and the series, which is kind of nice. So it shows the series there, and even the volume, the number 10 in that series. We see that it's a new book, which is, I hope, that's going to show up because we chose that filter. We see that it's checked out already. You know, a lot of our new things get checked out very, very quickly. So we can place a hold. Okay, we'll talk more about that afterwards. So then you can see, looking at my notes, it's all checked out. Okay, so I'm going to go back and look at some other categories before we do anything else. So I'm going to go back to browse. So again, we see a bit of a breadcrumb here. So right now I'm showing one of 20 of 240. I can go back to the catalog search. I can go back to browse. So I'm going to go back to browse. And in the same way, you can click the home button. And if you're some of the other librarians that are watching, you may set yours up differently, but I'm keeping it this way for Springfield. The home button is going to browse the category, and in the same way, our logo will go back to the catalog home. So wherever you are, when you get lost, you feel like you get lost and you want to go back to the screen, you can click on the house or on the logo. So we're going to look at the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list. So I'm going to go to adult nonfiction. And then I'm going to choose New York Times nonfiction bestsellers. And once you're here, again, it's showing these breadcrumbs. Adult nonfiction, New York Times nonfiction bestsellers, and it shows all the covers. You could even do grid instead. So if you didn't want to see all the covers nice and big, you can change it to grid. I like to see the big ones. So to see the full category, we're going to click on the link with the breadcrumbs. And this one's a little bit different. So this doesn't have the filters on the left-hand side. This is a list, and this is a list that's generated by the New York Times itself. And it's been updated on April 27th. So it's the most recent New York Times. We can see that and this is really cool because we don't have to do anything with it. It comes automatically. So this is one of the great things that this particular catalog interface is going to give us. So we can do a couple of things. We can email the list. We can print the list. If we're in school and we need to generate some citations, we can do that. We can sort. So this is sorted by user defined, which is actually, number 1, 2, etc. on their list. So what is really exciting about this catalog, Aspen Discovery Catalog, is that we don't only show the physical items. We can see that this particular book is available as an ebook. And I'll talk more about how we can use Overdrive there. We can see a preview from the book from Overdrive. And even though it says ebook versus Kindle, some ebooks cannot be used on a Kindle. So that's why there's not really 2 copies. It's just that the ebook that's available can be used on a Kindle. So that's a little bit confusing. We've talked to the developers about it, but this is the way it is. So we kind of have to live with it. And we see that it's a new book. And I was a little confused when I looked at this because I know I just ordered that copy and I know it is delayed. So I'm going to click on Show Edition. And it's not helping me yet. It says, okay, there's one copy of this book in the consortium, probably because I know I don't have it yet. I'm going to go to more info. And let's see if I can figure out exactly who has it, because I know Springfield doesn't yet. So as I scroll down, I see that actually Norman Williams has that copy. I see that it's a new book, and knowing the way that our consortium works, we cannot borrow a new book from another library. So just be aware, and it should show up a little bit differently. So there are some quirks that are going on here. And I'm going to just hit that catalog search results back, or I can click return to search results. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Of course, it's not finding what I wanted to find. Let me go back home. Adult nonfiction, New York Times bestsellers. There we go. Is the one I want to talk a little bit more about is this Crying in H Mart. So when we look here, we can see more formats that are available. So when it says book, that means it's a physical book. And remember, if it says book, you can put a hold on it from another library. So if I click Show Edition, okay, it's available from another library. Okay. E-audio, so I can get a downloadable audio from Overdrive, but there's 70 people on that wait list, even though there's 8 copies. There's ebook, there's 23 copies with 58 people on the wait list. But if you're a Springfield person and I've purchased it through our Overdrive account and our Advantage account, you may be able to bump up on that list. So even if someone else has it out, you'll be the next one on the list if it's an item that I've purchased. But just be aware that they're really, really expensive, and I will only buy judiciously because I'm very frugal. So we've got the e-audio, the e-book, we've got the new book. So that one is on the shelf. But just be careful, because even though it is a new book, you got to kind of peek at it a little bit better, because it's LP, which means it's large print, which is great. So if we go to Show Edition, we can get a little bit more information. And remember that when you see something that's on the shelf and you place a hold, we'll be pulling those items randomly, during the day, and you'll get your notification. So that's that. But there's also, let me just go back on to, I wanted to do one more thing to show you, and I lost it. Okay, the book. So when we went to Show Edition, we can go to more info. It says available from another library. And then under where our library is, it says ours is checked out. It's not due, it's not due until the 21st of May. So I can click on other locations. So I know it's a book. It's not a new book, it's a book. So it can be transferred from another library. So that would be fine. We can put a hold on that. And we'd be able to show all the copies. So there's a ton there that are on the shelf. So it gives you some opportunity to see what's available, different places. There's this option too that you can see more like this. It gives you some choices if this is something that you like. I'm going to pay attention to the similar titles from Novelist. Novelist is a service that our consortium pays for. So all of our 23 libraries, soon to be 23 libraries, will pay for this so that you can see it. So it gives you some choices of some different ones. And the ones that have links are ones that we actually have in the consortium. So you can just click on it and find them. So there's a number of them. And then if you find an author that you like and you want one that's similar, you can click on the similar authors from Novelist to find other authors that write in a similar manner or similar genre. There's some published reviews, and these are from library journals. These are the things that the librarians will use to make some decisions as to whether they're going to purchase them or not. And there's also reviews from Goodreads. And you can actually write a review as well. You'll need to sign into your Goodreads account though. And then down at the bottom, there's those citations as well. So I'm going to stop for a minute and see if you guys have any questions. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Of course, I can't see you anymore. Any questions? Okay, I've got, okay. Somebody is popping off. Okay, so I'm going to continue since I'm not seeing any other questions. All right, so again, how do you get back to where you were? There's a green button at the bottom that says with an up arrow, and you can click going up to get right back there. And you've got your breadcrumbs there to get back to where you want. And again, you can click on the house or the logo or return to the search results. Let's see if I've got to talk to our implementation specialist because it did not go to the search results I expected it to. So I've got to write that down. All right. So what happens if you know what you want? Okay, so say I want to find the book, The Midnight Library. We don't have to put the. As I start typing midnight, it's that predictive text. I can click Midnight Library. And it'll go right to it. So, and we're going to see that there's many different formats again. So we've got the book, we've got the audio CD, the e-audiobook, the Kindle, etc. So I'm going to want to place a hold on the audio CD. It's the only thing that's available right there. I can see large print, but I really want the audio CD. So I'm going to go to place hold. And I need to put in my library card number. So I'm going to find that. I set up a staff account, so you guys don't have to see what I actually have checked out. And so this is going to be the first thing that's going to come up. It says holds allowed you to request a title, delivered to your home library. So you're only going to be able to pick it up at your home library. So I would recommend that you check, always use this pickup location. If you're working on a public computer, you should check log me out after requesting the item, unless you're going to be requesting more items and searching more. So I'm going to submit the hold request. And a really nice feature that comes up too now when you have placed your hold. So say it wasn't on the shelf and you were going to have to wait for it to be transferred from another library, or there were other people that were on the waiting list. They have some other choices for you, some other things that they would recommend. So those recommendations are really quite helpful. Any questions right now? Okay, so I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I'm going to move on. So I just placed a hold on something that I don't want. So how do I get rid of that? That's what we're going to look at next. So when you go up to your name, and it should be like your first name, last initial. And I just did STL staff and I put my last name as an asterisk. So if I click on that, it'll go to my account. And on the left-hand side, and we can also see all of those things, or I should have been able to see all of those things. Yeah, if I clicked on that, I can see all of the things that are on the left-hand side as well. But once I click on my name, I can see my account on the left-hand side. And I want to find, so we see that you can check your checked out items, checked out titles. And this gives you a nice little message that's there. It tells you how long the library is open. And when I was checking it on Saturday, it let me know that the library was going to be closed tomorrow. So, you know, it'll let you know what the next day's schedule will be as well if you are closed. We can see that anything, I don't have anything checked out, but if I did, it would be under physical materials, and I'd have Overdrive materials as well. So I'm going to look at the titles on hold. And I see that I don't have any Overdrive titles on hold, but I do have a physical material on hold. It'll let me know what items are arrived at the library or available online. And it shows that I have Midnight Library on hold. And it says I'm first in line. It hasn't been picked up yet. I can cancel the hold. I can freeze the hold. I got to get rid of this change pickup location because we don't need that. But we also have the option of while you wait. And that was some of those suggestions. So in the same way, I can cancel the selected ones. I can cancel all of them. I can freeze selected one. I can thaw them. I can put them into an Excel sheet. I'm just going to cancel. That way my staff isn't going to pull that book for me and say who is STL staff. So there's some other things that are in my account. We've got the reading history. And there's a good message at the top that lets you know that the library takes your privacy very seriously. We don't keep track of what you borrow after you return it. The automated system has a way of keeping track though. So there's a lot of patrons that really want to ask us, have I read this book yet? We can't tell if they've read it, but they can start recording the reading history. So once you turn it on, and once you do, you can take particular things off of that reading history, which I think is a new feature than we had in Koha. So you have your finds and messages, your materials request, titles you rated. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you might have noticed that there were stars underneath some of them, and we'll look at that. Once you have rated something, there'll be some items that are recommended for you. So Aspen Discovery will say, oh, you've read Jodi Picoult, so you might want this one. So they'll do some recommendations as well. And then there's a variety of settings under your account settings. And one last thing is it has a search history as well. So if you have searched for things, okay, these were the 2 things I did today. I can get rid of them because I don't need to see them. I can save it if I want to perform that search again. But I'm going to delete my unsaved searches. And then finally, there's my lists. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Are there any questions about your account? I see something in the chat. Freeze hold just keeps your spot in line, and thaw activates the hold again. Any idea of the limit of freeze? You know, Carson, I'm not positive on that. I'll have to get back to you on that. I believe it's the same way that it works currently, but that's a great question. I'll see if I can figure that out. I think you can freeze them all. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So I'm going to go back to the home. And we're going to look at some of the advanced searching. I'm going to clear, right, click on the home button. It clears out all the searches. And then I'm going to just click on the search button itself. And this is, I'm just doing a broad search. It's going to bring up everything possible. We'll look at some of those filters again. And I don't know why it always shows Harry Potter first. Maybe because it's the best match is what it says. So some of the things on the left-hand side we're still working on. We're working on figuring out why some things are not coded and some things are unknown. And we will hopefully figure that out before we go live. And we're working on that. So we have fiction versus nonfiction. We have our available now and our format. So for instance, if we wanted just to have large print, you click on large print, you don't have to click apply filter. It just does that automatically. And I can see that there are 1,255 large print items in all libraries. And that something's wrong with that because I'm sure other libraries have the same, have more than we do. So I'm going to have to figure that out. So there are some glitches. And it looks like 1,220 are available now. You can do some sorting. So this is a sort by best match. So if you wanted to find the newest one, so there's some other possibilities. You wanted to do by author or title or the date that your library has purchased it, the number of checkouts. That gives you some idea as to how popular it could be. I'm going to click publication year descending. Again, I don't have to click anything else. It does that search automatically. So it looks like the train wreckers is one of our last purchases of large print. So if I were just reading large print, I might want to, and you just have to be really careful. So here it says locking a facet will retain the selected filters in the new searches until they're cleared. So if I lock this particular filter, and that's their use of facet versus filter. So just be aware that that facet means filter. So everything that I search right now is going to be large print. So if I search Patterson and that predictive text, I'm not going to worry about any of these. I'm just going to click search. Every one of these 51 items that are at the Springfield Town Library are large print, theoretically. Yep, there's one. Okay. So if I wanted to look for something that was not large print, I could try to take that minus sign off. Yeah, it doesn't go. It doesn't go anywhere because I have this locked. So I have to unlock it in order to take that filter off. So once I click that, now I have everything. So just be really, really careful with those locks. And oh, excuse me with my clock. So be careful with those locks. You might find that you're thinking it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I can't find what I'm looking for, but just be careful that you haven't locked your filter to narrow your results. So, yep. And again, if you do choose something, so say you are looking for, I don't have anything that's not English. So say you were looking for an e-audiobook. And you were saying you were looking for fiction. If you decide, oh, no, I don't want e-audio. Again, you can click the minus sign. And that filter goes away. Any questions? Okay. So you might want to, well, let's go to James Patterson. Let's go to Alex Cross novels. So you might want to develop a list with the Alex Cross novels because you want to read them. Ah, look at that. There's those stars. So that's where your recommendations can come from. So and I'm not going to do any clicking. If I clicked 1 star, 2 stars, whatever, that will help to generate ratings in this system, and it'll be across the whole consortium. Won't have your name tied to it. It'll just help to rate that particular one, and it'll help to give recommendations to you also. Or you can click don't recommend, don't show this anymore. I don't want to see this title recommended. Okay. So if you really hate that one, click don't recommend. All right. So say I wanted to put these in lists, I can add it to the list. And I might have lists created already, or I might create a new list, and I would give it a name. Now, you as a patron will only be able to have private lists. Librarians can create public lists, and they can show in search results. So that's where I'm doing a Library of Things list, and there was the Golden Dome list for the children. But you as a patron will only have private lists, and you'll be able to copy the URL or email the list when viewing it. Okay. So patrons can certainly create their own lists. So if you're doing a list on Patterson novels, those lists would show up here. So the default is searching in the library catalog. You can search in the online collection. You can search in library lists. And in our case, we can search in the library website. So any questions about lists? And you guys are going to just have to play with it a little bit and then ask questions as you have them. Okay. So one of the most exciting things about our catalog is across here. I'm going to go back to the home. And I'm going to go to just do a regular search. And I'm just going to get rid of the fiction, nonfiction, and I'm going to go to the e-content collection. So when we were using our current catalog, we had no way of being able to see what was in Overdrive, what was in our electronic resources. Now, I talked about being able to search Overdrive, and I'll show you in a bit. But we do have some other choices for our digital collection. Springfield just got Freegal. So when I click on that, I have all of the top 88 albums that are available. And the coolest thing, and you can see it's e-music. And okay, so I've heard of George Michael, so I'm going to click on this one. And I'm going to go to Access Online. And it takes me right to the site where I would log in. And I could then stream that particular, choose which ones I want to stream. And I've got 3 downloads, and I can stream for 3 hours. And I can do it right from the catalog. It opens up in a new window. Hopefully you saw that. So that's something really exciting in my view. Same thing with consumer reports. Consumer reports, well, where did it go? Okay, I clicked off. So it's going to come up to the 1 consumer reports that we have. When I go to Access Online, it'll open it up to EBSCO where I would put in my library card number, and I'd be able to log in to see the consumer reports. So it's going to give you some additional access, but there's also some other online resources that we have. So each of these are links to all of our online resources. And in the same way, we have some online newspapers. So I'm crossing my fingers that this is going to work. Eagle Times. It opens up. I put my library card number in. And I cross my fingers. And it opens to Eagle Times. So I can see right there. So it's not, it's the text. So I can see today's Eagle Times. So that's through our America's News. Are there questions so far before I go over some other pieces? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Overdrive. And we're just going to check something out in Overdrive. Let's find available online. Available now. So we can find something for me to check out. All right. So, and I don't want consumer reports. Let me check out Pride and Prejudice. So when I click on it, the e-audiobook is available. I can click check out Overdrive, and it's already checked out. That's it. I can view my checkouts. It says I've checked out this e-audiobook. I can access it online. So I can go to my my Libby app and I can download it from there, or I can just return it now, which I'm going to do. So that's one of the best things I think there is on this new interface, is that we can search on the catalog, we can check out Overdrive titles right from there, and we can return it right from the catalog. So we don't have to search on our little device and have to deal with that. And then just a few other things. We have our library's website, or our hours and website. It'll open up into a new tab. Our events, which is going to go to our library website with our upcoming events. So those are outside. We talked about the online newspapers and the online resources, and then the passes, which again links to our library website with our museum passes. So I think that's what I've got for you guys. I think I'm done. And I'm going to stop recording so that people can, let me stop sharing first so I can see. I'm going to stop recording, and so that my librarians can ask questions if they have them. Where's my stop recording? There it is.